Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Teams Show here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. Thursday, the 30th of April, ahead of round 8, St Kilda, Carlton, Saturday night, Marvel Stadium. We're flying through the weeks. At the end of this weekend, we will be officially a third of the way through the 2026 AFL season. Jeez. I don't think it's gone quickly. I think it's been pretty slow. I think when you're losing all the time, it goes slow. But I think once we get to the team show, at this point, that's when the most joy is here, because the team show is the show that has the most optimism. It's before the result, so we don't know what's going to happen. So we're still thinking about how we're going to win a game. And the team show is also brought to you by Mr. Cabinets. And I want to thank Derek for his support, his ongoing support of this channel and of this show. Guys, hope you're all well. What's happening in your world? What's happening in your Thursday world? Round 8's about to start tonight. What have we got tonight? We're going to get through draft. I didn't do a video on the Cody Walker draft stuff, but I do want to talk about it. We are going to go through that. We're going to hear from Brody Kemp. We're going to hear from Cottrell. I want to unpack some of these videos. We're going to look at maybe some of the VFL highlights from last week that we didn't look at on Monday night. Try and pick what's going to happen with team selection. I've got a few other bits and pieces from training that I went to on Tuesday, which have just come to me now. The teams will come out. I don't know if the Carlton press conference will come out. We haven't seen anything yet, so it might come out while we're live on the show this evening. And then I've got tickets to give away. I've got 4 tickets to give away thanks to the great man Robbie Varley. So Robbie messaged me this morning and said, hey mate, I can't go this Saturday. I'd like to offer our 4 seats to BA members, or however you see fit. Bay 33, first level in the members area. So if you want to get 4 reserve seats to the game, what I will do is, all you got to do is you got to fill out the form. I know it might be annoying to fill out the form, but listen, it's a free entry into a competition for tickets. So round 8 ticket giveaway entry form. So that link there in the live chat, all you got to do is just fill in your details. Let me know if that works or doesn't work. And later in the show, after the teams are announced, I'll spin the wheel and I'll call one of you and I will get the tickets transferred thanks to Robbie. Now, Robbie, I don't know if he's in the chat right now, but yeah, just want to say a massive thank you to him. And yeah, he sent me a really nice message afterwards about the show means so much to us. Happy to help. So thank you very much to Robbie. And yeah, we'll go from there. How are you all doing? And what is on your mind? How has your week been? Who was first? Mr. Henriksen. Hello, sir. They better bring George Hewitt back. I don't know if they will. I don't know. Kate Wall, bugger the VFL, bring Cody straight in. We will touch on Cody. Also, I will be doing a VFL watch along here on the channel Saturday afternoon. I'll be live from, probably 11:50, we'll call it. I've set it for midday, but we can watch the VFL together. We can obviously watch Cody together and, take notes every quarter like we did a few weeks ago. Mr. Morrow, good afternoon to you. Hello, Elena. Good to see you again. You want to see Sard, Flynn Young, and George Hewitt, Pito and Harry. You want to see Chera, Taylor Byrne, Lewis Young, and Ollie Hollands. Well, Ollie didn't play last week, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. Hello, Sammy Taylor. Hello, Cez. Graciela. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Mr. Broberg. Keen for George Hewitt. Interesting. A lot of George Hewitt love. Mr. Edwards. Good morning to you on the other side of the world. You're keen to see Wilson Sard and Flynn Young today. Hey, says, this show needs to start. I can't keep looking at JSOS in a Saints Guernsey. Yeah, I was tossing up between De Koning and Pitto or Harry Dean and Jack Silvani. I don't know. I like the Harry Dean, Jack Silvani. We lost a father-son. We gained a father-son. I think we gained a good one in Harry Dean. I'm pretty happy with the way he's tracking. He seems to be a really good kid. So, yeah. Who else is here? Julie. Hello. Crossy. Good to see you here. Lou Felino. Saw you at training. One thing about the club that they've really nailed this year is the open trainings and opening the doors for regular training sessions. I saw Lou caught up with you and Petros or Petra in the chat if you're here at training. It's just doesn't matter how bad things are on the weekend. There's just something about being able to just go to training and just chat it out. I know it's a little thing, but I'm really pleased that they actually opened the doors properly and they didn't just do it to start the season and then just let it go. It's something really little, but I do enjoy it. Like I was having conversations about life. It had nothing to do with football, with other people as well. Like it was just, I think there's something in that. So, I mean, it's tricky if people are at work, they can't just come to training. But I think for anybody who wants to, I don't know, if you feel like you're losing that connection a little bit, I think going to the club and going to training is a really good idea. G'day, Chills. Hyde, you're pretty keen on a win this week. I think surely we're not far away from a win. I'm not even talking about what it would mean. I don't care about what does a win mean. Just a win for all the hard work that you can see the team is doing. Like I think they're trying. They're just falling short against better teams. I don't know if the Saints are of the same ilk as Freo away, Adelaide away, and Collingwood. Saints are good. I was talking about it with Jake today. I just don't know if they'll be able to do the same punishing that these other teams have done to us this year, but we'll see. We can't get too excited. Matt, yeah, I did the tidy up. I did it. I left a little bit here as well. I can't believe I've entered borderline mullet stage. It's unbelievable. But yeah, we cleaned it up a little bit. Shout out to my man Ryan, my hairdresser down at Paragon. Genki Rose, good evening to you. I love the motto in your profile photo. Mens sana in corpore sano. Love to see it. Please keep that. Matthew, where was Voss's press conference today? I don't know. I don't know where it is. And I don't know. Well, there's a captain's run tomorrow. So there may be a press conference there, but usually by now there's something that comes up. So what we'll do is we'll keep an eye out throughout the show tonight, and maybe we'll just do our own press conference. Joel, hello, mate. The club can't even pay people to attend games. Yeah, did you guys see that they changed the status of the game? I believe it was initially it was put as a sold-out game, which meant that if you were a general admission member, you had to pay to upgrade your ticket. But now it's not. So I think you can just scan into Marvel Stadium on Saturday with your lanyard and your barcode. Very interesting. Dean Macbeth, hello, mate. Glad you liked the Matt Clappe interview. You didn't know he was a Cyclone Tracy survivor. Yeah. I am really, more than what I thought I would, I'm really enjoying speaking to the previous champions of the club. I find, only done two. So Mr. Marcoux and Mr. Clappe, there's little clues, isn't there? There's always little clues that they both give. I think with Marcoux, it was about the family and the togetherness. And I think with Clappe, It was the reliability and trust in one another that really stood out to me, which are lessons that I'm thinking about with this iteration of the club that like I don't see. So Robbie Varley, you are here, mate. Thanks very much again. Thank you very much for passing on the tickets. We will be sure to give them to someone. Again, if you want to enter, if you would like 4 tickets to the game on Saturday, sitting with the Carlton members, Robbie has graciously given up his 4 spots. He can't be at the game on Saturday. So all you need to do is you need to fill out that form, and I'll spin the wheel of names later on, and you can have 4 tickets, and you can bring whoever you like, really. So there you go. Eric, good evening to you, mate. Hello, boy and cat mum. Debbie, good to see you. Jen, hello. Slobbo, why are Carlton so soft? I don't know, mate. I've got to toughen up quickly. LS, you've stopped caring about wins. Lose out and secure Cody. Big picture. Oh, no. We've lost him. We lost a great man today. We've lost a great man to tanking. I just don't know of any situation where tanking is good for a team and trying to build culture. I don't know. Anyway, why don't we touch on it? So we saw finally the confirmation of the draft changes. And to be honest, they weren't really so different to what we were expecting. We were sort of basically waiting for them to just officially confirm them, which is so strange. It's so strange. I actually get the changes. I don't understand why we had to wait till round 8 in the season to confirm them. But if you're not aware of what the changes were, I'm going to share my screen with you now, and we can essentially just go through them, right? So it's going to look a little boring. But basically, from this year onwards, these are the changes, right? The clubs can now only use 2 picks in the current draft to try and match any bid placed on a concession player up to including pick 36. So from 1 to 36, you can only use 2 picks maximum with your matching. So what this will do is it'll prevent what we saw with Nick Dacos, what we saw with Levi Ashcroft, and some of these other kids from the Gold Coast and Brisbane academies or father-son prospects, where we saw Brisbane give up multiple picks in the 30s and 40s to make up the points. So we kind of knew that was coming in. The discount and loading will be applied. That was I think something we didn't know exactly how it was going to play out, but essentially first and second place teams, they have to pay a tax, or they call it a loading here. Third and fourth have a 10% loading or tax. 5th to 10th, just standard. This is where it gets interesting, and probably why LS is talking about not caring about wins, because teams from 11th to 18th will get a 10% discount applied to bids from 1 to 36. So you finish 11th to 18th. Essentially, you don't make finals. You stay out of the wild card. Then you get a discount on the points value of the pick and the matching and things of that nature. So, I mean, this is where it's dangerous, because it almost incentivizes teams who you get to round 15, 16, 17, you have a look at where you are, you have a look at what your draft hand is, and it almost incentivizes you to stay out of the final so you can get a discount and play the game. And I don't know, it depends how you look at it, but the deficit, this is an interesting one. The allowable draft deficit will be reduced to 412 points. So remember, the deficit is if you don't have the points to match a bid, you go into the deficit, which means it comes out of your next year's bucket of draft money, we'll call it. It's all play money. So that's that. Long story short, we're going to get Cody Walker. But I saw a bit of the reaction online. We've seen, Greg Swan talk about it. We've seen a lot of people talk about it. What was your reaction to it? Like, if you haven't laid out your reaction to the changes and maybe just the whole scenario, what was your read on the situation? Yeah, LS. They've made tanking an enticing option. 100%. Not only that, what you now, I mean, and I don't even think, I think this was already happening. The concept of backdoor deals with clubs to not make bids on players in exchange for other liberties. I think you just open the door on that. Rocco, you think the AFL, they just always want to screw us. Gavin, they do it so they can stay in the news cycle. Love that. Oh, I actually want to play. Did anybody see Bevo go off on them? His monologue. What was it? I have to play this. I have to play this. This was excellent. So I digress, but it's kind of relevant. I just want to play this. It was so well said.
Consideration for me around the equities in the game rather than just changing a rule for this year. Because we were part of the change because we brought Jamara in back then, and it was another reaction to pressure from clubs. So what has happened? The AFL are a punching bag at the moment. What has been, when you think about the actual game, the rules, whether it's tribunal and appeals, whether it's we're trying to make things perfect in a game that's chaotic. And the unfortunate thing is you guys and girls are the ones who the AFL are paranoid about, because they don't want you to criticise them. But every time you do, they go and change something. So it's not this regime's fault. It's the operational regime of the last 15 years that keep changing things. And now we've got a tax act of regulations. It's too hard to administer. So compliance is difficult, right? So we're at a point now where we need a Peter Jackson to go in and do a review of how to strip it all back and make it simple again, right? Because, as I said, the game's chaotic. It's not black and white. And even, one of the ridiculous things that's happened recently is what's happened with this between the arcs last possession thing. Ultimately, if there's confusion as to who it went off, what did we used to do? We used to ball it in. How about we just ball it in again? Because people are going to make mistakes, and it might have come off someone's boot, but no, we have to bring another layer in, and now we have to reverse it. So we haven't been strong enough to just go, yep, mistake was made, move on. And so this is another one where we're making a change on the run. There's Eastern Seaboard and Northern academies that have been going on for the last, 10 years. There's clubs complaining about getting their own. It's just, we have to strip it all back and get it right. The inequities in the draw, in the draft system, in the whole thing, it just needs to be sorted out. And that's just one isolated thing that's happened recently. So it's there's some bigger challenges ahead for City Hall, and I just hope they engage someone, like a Peter Jackson, who can go in an independent way and say, hey, have a think about this is what we've got to do. And if we have to go back 10 years to make the game better, let's do that. The other thing too is, it's you guys again, because of the money in the broadcast, is because we've tried to create more goals in the game, we've turned the game into this ridiculous game of ping pong because we want money from broadcast because there's more ads during the goals. And it can't all just be about revenue. It's got to be about the beauty and the nature of the game. And we've got some challenges ahead. So that's me off the soapbox.
How good was that? You just don't hear. Fans talk like that. Fans talk about the commercialization of the game. It's a bit too much. I just thought it was really refreshing to hear him speak like that. And I think the bit that hit home, there's a lot that hit home, but the bit there around just trying to create more goals because it's more entertaining and it's got more revenue and the like. And it took me back to, I know I've been referencing this book a lot this week. It's the Yellow and Black book. There's a bit in there where they had met with the AFL, and one of the 6 key components of the AFL strategy, one of the 6 of them was entertainment, to help grow the game. So it just goes to show where the game's going. They're trying to just tinker with it. They're trying to surgically repair a game. I think the part around reducing head knocks and protecting the player's head, I understand that for sure, like the health and safety part of that. But to artificially generate it to be more entertaining, I think is a really slippery slope. The game is entertaining. I know that I don't necessarily think that if teams are scoring 100 plus points every week, that makes it more entertaining. Sometimes a defensive slog with defensive efforts and chase downs and smothers and like sometimes that is entertaining because it just shows the mental resilience and the courage and the strength of a team to hold on. I think some of the best grand finals I've seen, I think Sydney and West Coast back in 2005, 2006 wasn't necessarily a high scoring game, but shit, you don't forget some of those contests. So really interesting comments there. So I did digress, but just going back to what you think about the draft changes. Deb, you think Swan is a BS artist? I think this is the first week in his whole tenure where he's had any sort of heat applied to him. I'm a bit stunned. He's come in and made some really significant changes across the board to tribunal, to rule interpretations. He's changed rules, draft now. I actually think he has barely been criticized this year, which is a bit surprising to me. Greg Swan sabotaging Carlton because he's bitter. Yeah, see, look, I will engage in some tinfoil hattery tonight. I'm down. Yeah. I'm so down for some tinfoil hats. Hi, the reaction is screw Carlton at all costs. So I will push back on this a little bit, and I'll tell you why. So I'm not as okay. So we're going to have to pay a bit more for Cody Walker than what we would have if it was 5 years ago. So cool. I'm not as outraged about that, and I'll tell you why. Life's unfair. The league's unfair. Yep. Collingwood got Dacos for what they got him for. Yep. The Brisbane Lions got their sure. At some point, someone was going to be screwed. It sucks that we've been screwed in a weird way. Imagine you're a top 4 team. Imagine Carlton were a top 4 team and Cody Walker's coming and our first pick was nowhere near the top 10. Based off what Greg Swan was saying the other night, you'd have to trade a player. So Port Adelaide, for example, they're not a top team. I don't know. They might be. They're winning. They're going to be winning games here and there. And I don't think Port Adelaide's a bottom 4 team, right? So essentially, the Butters deal will help them land the kid that they're going to be picking up, which is Dougie Cochran, right? So there's that. The other thing is Cody's ours. He's definitely going to be ours. There's no risk of not getting Cody. So at this point, he's at the club. He's training with the club. He'll be playing VFL this week. Let's just focus on the controllables, which is the fact that we got him. And also, at least, imagine not being prepared. I think I'd be more angry if the club weren't prepared. I don't believe that. Actually, I know for a fact that this hasn't just been sprung on Carlton. It's been in discussions for a while. 12, 18 months. They've known this is coming, and the club, to the credit, have prepared for it. So we're not going to be caught out as much. I'm not as outraged in the anti-Carlton space, but I'll entertain it. I'll absolutely entertain that there's a conspiracy against us. LS, thank you for the $10. You say here, it's a simple fix. Each club gets one father-son or academy freebie per season, and that nominated player isn't included in the draft. If a club has more than one, they'll be forced to bid in the draft for them. Interesting. Well, I think the issue with this has really only come up recently because a lot of these father-son players are really good. Dacos, Ashcrofts, Darcy, they're really, really good players. High level, top level players. Walker's going to be they rate him as one of the top 3, 4, 5, whatever he's going to be. G'day, John. Great to have you here, mate. Great to have your schedule cleared up and have you with us. Tom, the AFL is kind of like Carlton, a bunch of millionaires pretending they know what us common folk want. Yeah. They monetize us common folk and our passion for the game and our irrational expenditure on the game. And they continue to monetize and just continue to just suck us in and just milk the cow. Was a beam. You need to smoke 2 packets of cigarettes to sit through a footy match these days. Well, so let's just do the math. That's $100 plus your ticket. Which, if it's a membership, let's just say it's, I don't know, $300 a year for, I don't know. You know what? Let's just say you bought a ticket, $50. So just to get there, public transport, let's just say you drove, mate, it's an expensive exercise. And I'm guessing you're a Carlton fan because you're in the stream here. Is it even worth it? Sam, how will I feel when they change the rule back in a few years? Then it's on. Gloves are off. Don't worry. Then I'll be completely pissed off. And I think the club should rally for, I don't know, some payback, some reparations of some sort. Surely not. They won't be changing the rule back. Surely not. Kuda's son. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll get Cody at a price. We will. I think the price is fair. It just sucks that they weren't prepared for this when Gold Coast and Brisbane and other teams were already exploiting this system. I mean, Greg Swan said himself that when he was at Brisbane that they thought it was extremely generous in the first place. So, yeah. We've had some pretty bad father-sons in the past. Let's hope Cody isn't another. Yeah. Look, bottom line, I think the last few years, I was talking about drafting and recruiting earlier. Harry Dean, it's early to tell, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be a good player. Jagger, pretty sure he's going to be a good player. Cody, we hope, but we're pretty sure the attributes that he'll be a good player. I'm not necessarily, I mean, I don't think you can expect a great player. You can almost expect a good player. You just got to make sure you nail them because we just haven't been able to nail top 10 picks in the last decade. And they just hold you back so much. G'day, Frankie. Andrew Pridham says that the draft players out of the Northern Academy should have to pay a fee of $200,000 to the club that developed the player after the AFL's bidding changes were unveiled. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Kareem, they legit changed the rules last year. These specific rules? I mean, I can't even remember what we were talking about this time last year. We had Harry Dean. Because I think Brisbane with Annabelle and Gold Coast with Patterson still ate up those later picks to make the points. Gavin, you paid $190 to sit in the blue zone at the Gabba, half forward pocket, bottom level. What? That's madness. Dean, John Elliott would have served a legal injunction on the AFL. He would have gone to the High Court if he had to. Can you imagine doing High Court watch-alongs here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel with John Elliott and Chris Townsend, QC, in the High Court? Says, it just sucks that Brizzy win a flag and get the number 1 draft pick with picks in the 30s. Just unfortunate the change. Yeah, it is unfortunate. No doubt. Ethan Fleming, do we think Ainsworth in the midfield will actually help us? It's a great question. I don't think it's going to be a game changer. He was doing some rotations on the ball at training on Tuesday. I don't think he's going to be playing bulk midfield minutes. This was the centre bounce. Sorry, the centre bounce. I got a Equality's pulled me up on this. It's not the centre bounce attendances anymore. It's just ball ups. This was from last week. So CBAs, so the ball ups in the middle from last week. So Reedy and Cripps lead the way, no surprise there. Cooper Lord, interesting there. He also had a bit of a job on Caleb Sarong. Walshan 18, Chera had 17, Zach had 10. Ainsworth had the 5. So my point is, I mean, it's not like he hasn't been getting a shot there in the middle. I mean, how much more do you want your small forward or half forward on the ball? So I think there's a bit of a myth that they haven't tried Ainsworth at all on the ball because, clearly they have. The one that stands out to me here is Chera. He's attending 17. We're just not getting enough impact, I think, from Chera. I think we're just waiting for him to find some form and find some confidence. But yeah, Ainsworth, it seems like they're developing that part of his game as well. And yeah, we shall see. LS, unfortunately, after the Elijah fiasco, we're in no position to be taking anything to the High Court, beat the system with strategic losses. Yeah, I don't know. The whole tanking question, I just shudder at the thought that we would go down that path again. I just think sport has a way of making you suffer when you tank. Case in point, Cruiser. We tanked for Cruiser, and then he blew out his knee, and we never really got to see the best of him. I just don't believe in that at all. Tatum, is there any early mail around? Nothing yet. I think Pito and Mackay are going to be available, and they're going to come in. But it's interesting because some of you that contribute here in the live chat on the team show, you usually have a little bit of mail, but no, nothing yet. Pito has the glove on his left hand. Seems like he's available for selection, so I reckon we'll pick him. I reckon we'll pick them both. Dominator, who cares what we have to pay? We've already got the picks anyway. Cody will be ours, so that will be that. Love it. Couldn't agree more. Pommy, incorrect. McNamara providing its pick 1, which it should be 3 and... Incorrect. McNamara providing its pick 1, which it should be 3 and 27, cover it. Thus, whatever Sydney's pick is in first round more than covers it. Right. Kerry, knowing TDK, he won't stand up this weekend. Yes, no. I was talking to Jake today. I got it out of him. Pommy, you're here. He dropped the whole 50-50 game and he let me have it. Saints by 37. So he actually just put his balls on the line today. Jake's basically going into this game with we can't lose to Carlton. And if they do, it'll be, I can't believe we lost to Carlton. Like one of those. It's basically the way we've been talking about St Kilda forever. So it was interesting. You can all watch that after this show. Collingwood tanked and got Daisy and Pendlebury, and it essentially won them a flag. Yeah, I guess they did. I guess they turned it around. I don't really remember the end of that year. Craig Turner, 2027 draft is a mess with the new bidding system as Tassie holds pick 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Whoever finishes last next year will have pick 2, then pick 4, etc. Yeah, there's also, they have to, I'm pretty sure, Pommy, you're here, they have to trade, I think it's pick 5 and maybe another one. I'm pretty sure they do. That's part of their hand. Bugs Bell, you've been on this from the start. I reckon you've been saying this since I met you years ago. Should have drafted Cochin. That's what I thought at the time. He went on to captain 3 premierships. I think we got that wrong. Never tank. Caden, shaved head Harry is kicking 7 on Sunday. Yeah. Petra Khan. Great to see the Howard Cotton interviews with ex-players. Highly recommend. It's sad to see players pass away without hearing their stories. Yeah, it's almost like a mini Carlton People series within the Carlton People series, except these are, premiership players. If there's any premiership player or previous, champion that you think has to be documented next, please be in touch. Please let me know. Jen, tanking is absolutely ridiculous. It is. All right. Tatum, Jake's going to be so fun to troll. They will be so embarrassed. We've got to troll the fuck out of him if we win. Yeah. He tried to be a bit confident earlier today. He's like, oh, why don't you come on the pod? You know, we're going to ask you to come on the podcast, win or lose. But he wasn't willing to offer anything back the other way. It means a lot to Jake. And you know what? It should mean a lot to us too. I watched Bucky's preview today, and it kind of snapped me out of it. I get that the players are friends and all of that. Similar to the opening round game with Kerno, understand that you're best mates, understand there might not be bad blood in between, all good, but can you just do the smiles and the hugs and the laughs behind closed doors? Because the supporters want to believe that you are into this whole narrative of, you know, it was us against them and what do we stand for as a football club, and you're either with us or you're not with us. So it was a really good reminder about that. So if you haven't watched the My Blue Heaven preview, please do. He's fired up. Yeah. All right. The only tank we want is Frank. Ari Stamatakos. Can we get a Plowman interview, please? If I ever did a Plowman interview, I'd have to apologize to him. Yeah. Johnny Holden, it was such a rush seeing Clapper on Footy People. Matty was a great guy. Yeah, in the footage, the long-haired Johnny Holden back there. All right, let me play a little thing I saw here. This is Brodie Kemp. This was the other day. I don't think we spoke enough about Brodie Kemp and his efforts last week, but just a little clip here.
Good. We've got the day off tomorrow, so it was a bit more solid than our usual training sessions, but yeah, it was good. The group trained really well, and yeah, I think it's a good segue into Saints. Yeah, be good. I haven't seen the boys actually in a while. Yeah, it'd be good to see them and go toe to toe, which would be nice. It's nice to be back playing, that's for sure. This time last year, I was unfortunately on the sidelines and was going to be for the rest of the year. So I'm sort of just, enjoying playing footy at the moment. Just getting load and footy under your belt always helps, especially after missing a year of footy. So, it's nice to get a little bit of sort of body of work in footy, so to speak. And then, starting to find a little bit of form, which is nice, but can always be better. I'm really enjoying it. I love working with and playing with H, Wilbur, Gov. I mean, all the forwards. I feel like we've got a really good group at the moment. I know it's been hard not getting the wins and stuff like that, but I've really enjoyed my time. Weeders is still talking to us. Yeah, in fact, I almost think I've gotten close with Weeders since moving forward, because I probably don't let him down as much as a forward. But he still gets around us, which is good. I think it's just keep playing our way, knowing that it's close to turning. We're still playing some pretty good footy, even though we're not getting the win. So I think just keep double down on that, play us for longer, and hopefully get the win. Yeah, a bit of confidence, which is always good. It's always nice to hit the scoreboard, but as I sort of said before, I feel like I can still play a bit better and trying to add new things to my game. So that's sort of just what I'm focused on at the moment.
Last question: how do you juggle, I guess, being in an AFL season with the stress of how top is going at the moment?
Mate, it's no good. I was up watching on the weekend, and I was cheering when Everton equalised. We'd scored 1-0, and then they scored a winner like the 88th. I was like, damn it. So anyway, big 4 weeks coming up for Tottenham. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, been exactly a year out, so it was nice to get back on the weekend. It was nice to pull on the Rays monogram. Felt a little bit different, and definitely with the new team we got. You just told me I hadn't played with 8 of the boys that I played with on the weekend, so it was nice to play with them. It was pretty frustrating last year. Sort of didn't get the continuity at all. Foot was playing up again, so 3 surgeries later, and plenty too much time in rehab. Happy to be back with the boys. Would love to win, but it's good to be back out there. Yeah, they're a really good team. We saw that as soon as we sort of let our guard down. They've got some serious players that can turn the game pretty quickly. So it's a good test against one of the better sides this year, and we've got St Kilda this week with a few familiar faces, which would be nice. Hopefully we can get it done. Yeah, trusted the rehab crew to get me right. It was a slow build up. I spent a lot of time on the sideline, so it wasn't going to come back full minutes straight away. But yeah, I feel now the way I'm pulling up from games, feeling really good. Body's feeling strong, so yeah, ready to go full minutes now. And hopefully no interchange would be nice. Yeah, not only hadn't played with them, like I had a pretty interrupted pre-season, so I hadn't really trained with them either. So they all bring their own sort of energy. Deanie's just a competitor. It's funny to watch game day. Just looks like he hates everyone, sort of thing. Like similar weeders, so it's cool. And yeah, the Sydney boys, they bring great energy. Played against a banger a lot of times, and yeah, he's fierce. He's definitely a competitor. So happy to have them on our team, and yeah, hopefully put some wins on the board now with them. Wing is the main. Obviously, we've got a few players that have stepped up from the wing as well. So I think I'm pretty flexible about where I can play. But yeah, loving Matty Carroll's work, and to be able to play with him on the wing, see how much he's come. I don't think that fans know how raw he was when he first came to the club. So it's awesome to see him killing it at the moment. So it's good to play on the wing with him. Banger. Oh, he's just a good country lad. A fierce competitor. Like, I thought he wasn't a great bloke when I played against him, but they're the people you want on your team. Because yeah, he certainly is good on the lip, and yeah, he plays to hurt people, which is the right way to go about it. I won't say what he said, but my third game we played in Darwin, which was cool, and yeah, I was like wing at a stoppage, and he said, "If it comes to you, you'll know about it." So yeah, it's good.
Is he a good bloke now?
He's a great bloke, which is probably what I expected, because yeah, he's a good gippy boy, but definitely he's a competitor. You can see the way he plays, and he's not out there to make friends with the oppos. He's there to win, which is cool. One thing I kind of forgot about is how loud and our supporters are. Like, even though it was a away game, when we got our run on late, you can really feel their energy building. And yeah, probably even more so in Melbourne. So yeah, keen to get back in front of the fans. And, yeah, get going, get some wins on the board.
Big focus to get the energy up around the place in recent weeks.
Yeah.
How has that been going? And it used to fall on your shoulders. Who's helping you in that role?
Yeah, it just feels like this year, even though we haven't had the results go our way, you wouldn't be able to tell, I guess, when coming into the club. So that's something we've really improved this year, and we went after in the pre-season, sort of not letting the results dictate how we go week to week. So yeah, the Sydney boys have really helped with that. Banger boys with a lot of experience and have been through it all, so it's good to have them.
So 2 clips there, Brodie and Cottrell. Cottrell kind of just snuck up on us last week. I didn't think he was ready to play just yet, but as soon as he was named as the emergency, I guess that was the sign that he was ready to go. Question, do you think Cottrell will stay in the team this week, or do you think he'll make way for Ollie Hollands? Or do you think they'll both be playing this week? Because Voss made it pretty clear in his presser, I think only 2 weeks ago, that as soon as Matt Cottrell's ready to play, he'll be playing him. Only Carlton is in the chat. Nice middle part. Is this how you're always going to style your hair? Who knows? We'll see what happens. Just see how it grows out. We just cleaned up the side. I've done the Brodie Kemp. I've just cleaned up the sides here. Taken a little bit of volume out of the side here, because I do have thick Greek hair. And we'll just see how the hair develops from here. Gavin, you think he'll stay? Also, there's a link if anyone wants to call in. And we have someone who's already waiting. It's Ari.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, mate. How you going?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you just seeing you puts a smile on my face.
Thanks, mate. I know it's been a while. It has been a
Yeah.
while, but I thought we're better late than never. Not doing anything, so jump on, have a chat.
How's your Wednesday nights these days?
Yeah, there's an absence. There's an absence. There's something missing.
There's
But
something.
but I feel like it's. I recently watched a TV series that ended at the 3rd season, and when the
Mhm.
final episode finished, I go, God, I want a little bit more from that. But then I thought, those TV series that like just linger, just get shit towards like season 7, 8, 9. I feel like it's better to leave the audience wanting more than to leave them feeling like they've had too much.
I think we'll create something else. Just having a night off, and I mean, I love working with you, but given how tough the start of the season has, the idea of doing another show on a Wednesday night, not ideal. I was actually at the theatre last night. I went and watched a Shakespeare play called Julius Caesar.
Wow, that's far more sophisticated than what was the thing that you saw last year?
The theatre, the show.
No, like a show, but it was more like MA rated.
Was it the museum, the exhibition?
No, it's like a show. It's a thing that happens. I'll figure it out. But how was your Shakespeare play?
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Couldn't really understand what they were saying, but it was great.
Were they not speaking English?
No, it was like, wherefore art thou, Ari, words say this,
Interesting. No,
Yeah.
I like it. I'm glad you have fun.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Anyway, how are you, and what's on your mind? There's a lot's happening. I don't think I've actually gotten your take on a lot of things lately.
No, I think I've kind of in all seriousness, I think having the night off for me as well is good because it's been an interesting season, and I'm glad I don't have to speak about it every week in long form. Yeah, I don't even know. I think Saturday night will tell a very clear story of where the group is at, because it feels like, and Voss has alluded to it as well in the presses over the last couple of weeks, that there has been things building. Scores from turnover seems to be improving and all that stuff. So when does the damn wall burst? I think we're all looking for that. And then not only looking for that, we're looking for what that actually means, because it's all well and good playing well and getting wins on the board, but if we're doing it in round 18, who really cares?
Yeah. Do you think the damn wall's about to break and we're about to start winning, or do you think the white flag is about to be waved? Like, where are you on the optimist, pessimist scale?
Well, wasn't the whole thing that the white flag was waved very early last year because of the potential of certain individuals lending themselves to wave that early, and they're probably not here. So I'm assuming that they're going to fight till the end, and I don't think they've shown the fans anything other than that. Like, I think the performances, and I think you've alluded to it as well throughout the week or in previous weeks, all the performances have indicated that they will keep going. They will keep fighting, and they will keep playing their certain way that they want to play and keep going all the way to the end, because they've done that throughout games. Even if the execution hasn't been there, you can't question the intent. So I'd be very surprised if we saw a drastic drop-off towards the back end of the year. I'd be very surprised, which keeps me invested in the season, because even if the results aren't going there, you know that you're going to rock up and you're going to see a team that is trying to play at least, whereas there was times last year where I don't think they were trying to play. It didn't look like it anyway.
I can't remember which game it was. I remember going to a game last year. Maybe it was Brisbane. Maybe it was another game. It was at Marvel. And I remember thinking, are these guys protesting? I remember getting that feeling from the game.
Yeah.
So
I'll just go back to what we were talking about before, burlesque shows.
Oh, I went to a burlesque show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what's it called? It's called Reva. Great date spot, by the way. Yeah.
I'll add it to the list. Thanks.
Add it to the list, mate. You know what else is a great date idea?
Not the footy.
Not the football. The new Cartier exhibit is coming out at the NGV. All the diamonds will be at the NGV, mate.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just passing on knowledge. I'm a premiership player these days in this space.
No, here we go. Here we go. A lot has changed in 6 months, mate. A lot has changed since September 25th, or since we last spoke in this medium. A lot has changed. No, I'm happy for you. It's good. I'm happy for you. You're glowing. You're like only Carl suggested earlier. The middle part, I like it, and you're looking good, mate. You're looking good.
Yeah,
New setup, mate. Forget about the team on field. You're going great.
Yeah. We're just hanging on by a thread. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
You're hiding that well.
Thoughts on the draft changes? Are you outraged?
I don't think I can ever be outraged about what the league does anymore, because it is what it is. The rule changes in isolation, I think, are probably fair. But I think as the main complaint has been from a lot of people, the runway for the clubs, I think, is very unfair. Should be a 2-3 year process at least, considering you could trade 2028 draft picks this year. I feel like that should have been the minimum that you could that this rule should be implemented in, because teams' draft hands have already changed by then, or for that draft. So, I mean, look, we can scream and shout about it till the cows come home, but like, what's it? Well, yeah, it won't change it. It is what it is. We've been served our dinner and we have to eat it. So, a lot worse has happened to this club over the last 25 years. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So
Saturday, you're heading to the game?
I'm actually not.
Why?
I'm working on Saturday night, so it was a decision that I was umming and ahhing about. So, for everyone who knows, I'm a mad Melbourne Victory supporter, and they're playing in their elimination final at Amy Park on Saturday night against Sydney. So I was umming and ahhing about going as to which one to go to, and then something came up involving the latter, or the former, whereby that means I have to go there instead. So I'm quite thrilled about that, to be honest.
Fuck. Wow, we're losing great men one by one.
I'll be back, don't worry, because I'm a sucker for punishment, as we all are. But just think about it this way, right? Think about how, like, traumatized, I don't know if that's the word, whatever this club has done to me. Meaningless round 10 game against St Kilda, where Carlton will probably lose and have won one game all year, and that was by a kick to the worst side, versus 25,000 people at Amy Park in an elimination final watching Melbourne Victory, who have made 2 grand finals in the past 2 years. And yet I was considering going to Carlton. Like that is how brainwashed this club has done to me.
Part of me wants to say, yeah, but what if this week is the week? Then the other part of me is like, just let the guy be free. Like, let him free.
It will never be the week. Don't. I thought Collingwood was meant to be. You kept telling me. You kept telling everyone Collingwood was the week.
I really did believe Collingwood was the week. I did believe it was the week.
When did you stop believing that?
When Jamie Elliott kicked his second.
From the pocket? Yeah.
No, when he ran into open goal from 45. Yeah, that's what I knew.
The left snap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I knew.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What a time.
Love it, mate. Great to see you. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for having me. Good. What's your official prediction?
Blues by 8 points.
You fool. You fool.
We can win.
Who are you booing, and how hard are you booing them?
I might give Jack Silvani a little boo at the start, but I'm not really going to boo.
Really?
Really.
You're quite vocal though.
Yeah, but like whatever. Yeah.
You're too old for this now, aren't you?
No, I'm not too old to boo. I just maybe at the start. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting reception.
Yeah, I can have a strong prediction as to what it will be.
Okay. What do you think?
Oh, they're going to get booed heavily, both of them.
Both of them?
Which,
Well,
to be
that'll
honest,
that'll add
the
something.
the Tom one doesn't really make sense to me because it's like, I mean, every single person in this chat would have taken the deal. $1.7 million for however long it was. Like, are you insane? But the Jack one, I think he's probably a little bit fair enough. A little bit more fair.
When they come out on the ground and when they get their first touch, I'll give a little bit, but like whatever.
They're going to be within earshot?
No, no, I won't.
Behind glass, can't hear him. Fair.
No. I'll be sitting behind the goals up on level 2. They won't hear me. They won't see me. Oh, they might hear me.
If Jack's in the goal square, if Jack's next to Harry in the goal square, you might be able to give him a bit.
Although last week I was sitting right behind the goals, so like every player was in earshot, and I didn't really say much, but actually no. At some point I was screaming out, "Communicate."
That is the most you thing of all time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway,
who does Jack go to?
I think Kemp.
You reckon?
Yeah, Kemp or McGovern.
I guess if Dougal Howard plays, he's probably the one that's got the size to match Harry, right?
Yeah, I think Howard and Silvani will do the matchup. They like to leave Wilkie free, according to Jake today. So
play out that one, as he always does.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to it. Now, do I not take any notice of the game whilst I'm not being able to watch it live, and then come home and watch it on demand?
No.
From scratch, because I could facilitate that very easily, or do I just rip the Band-Aid off and just look at the scores?
You're not going to the game, so you're not really as invested.
True. We'll see how we'll see. I think that's a game time decision.
Well, I hope your victory draw or lose, and I hope our Blues win and teach you a very, 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 very harsh lesson.
That is not. No, you don't mean that.
I mean that with every fiber in my being.
You don't mean that. You don't mean that.
Yeah, I do. That'll teach you. You'll never miss a game again.
So you want me to continue to be like traumatized? Is that what you want?
All right, traumatized. You're 21.
22 actually.
22.
22 actually.
You're like early stages of trauma. Like, as in, there's people that have got like decades of this piled on.
Well, no, not really. Because the decade before this was flags.
No, it wasn't. The decade before this was Rebuild 2.
Okay, semantics. A decade
and the decade before that was Rebuild 1.
Okay. Just whatever.
Yeah, very good. That's very good. Very, very good. We're back.
Victory going to win, and Carlton are going to win by 12 points.
All right. Well, I'll speak to you on Saturday. How about that?
Yeah, we'll facilitate that for sure.
Yeah. All right, mate. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you for having me. See you guys.
See ya. Good to see Ari. Duke Leverage, are you good to come on? Hello, mate.
What's going on?
Just trying to get up for this round 8 blockbuster against St Kilda.
Oh, we're playing, are we? I can't even, dude. I'll be honest. This has been the least invested I've ever been in a season. I really only want to come on for 2 reasons. One, I checked my mail yesterday or the day before, expecting a reminder to pay a fine that I've contested, and I got a lovely little navy blue envelope with the letters BA on it, and I just went, "Oh, that's so cool!" And you know what, man? I didn't even open it because I wanted to be in a better mood to open it, so I could actually take it in. Do you know what I mean? And just appreciate it for what it is. So, after I see this client now, I'm gonna, go straight to the kitchen counter. It's sitting there. I'm gonna rip open the envelope and just embrace your essence. So thank you very much for that one, man.
Mate, my pleasure. You'll. I hope you're not let down. It's a pin for your scarf, but it's the little things that count, these days.
Oh, dude, I was shattered when I lost the freaking pin because I wasn't even meant to go to that game. And last minute, I'm like, I'm not wearing a jacket. I'm not wearing jack. I'll take a regular.
Yeah.
I was absolutely like spitting chips on the way back to like, the train or wherever the hell I parked. I can't remember. The other thing I was going to say was just paying attention to Ari just then. He's talking about trauma. It's like, mate, you're 22. Yeah, you can just look in the mirror and say, I'm 22. Who cares about Carlton? Like, I'm 22. I'm young. I'm fit. Like, the world's ahead of me to make better choices. This is what 42 looks like. Yeah, you're smoking cigarettes when you never smoked. All you had was Carlton because you invested in the bad. Driving to a client at 6 o'clock at night because you're that angry emotionally, you hate yourself because you picked the bad the bad horse to back. So yeah, I don't expect you to ask me for my opinion on anything because I really haven't been invested. The Collingwood game, I forgot that it was on, and ended up coming home from work and it was on. And I'm like, okay. And I just found myself doom scrolling, falling asleep during the third, waking up halfway through the fourth, and I'm like, what am I doing? And it's been pretty much just that for the whole season, man. I went to what game was it? North, because I'd bought the tickets for it in advance and I forgot about it. And then when we were there, I turned to the crew and I said, guys, this will be the last time you see me for a while. And then one of my friends was like, actually, you have another ticket that you bought. And I was just like, why?
Yeah. Man, I was talking the other day to a journo and he was like, what's the fan base like? And I said, well, to be honest, there's like a little bit of apathy just creeping in, there's obviously those that we just keep going on. It's a tricky time. It's a tricky time to be a supporter.
It just hurts, man. Like, on paper, you think they're correcting things, you see glimpses and glimmers of like flashy moves and actually sticking to structure or whatever and making the right decision. And then you just see some team that doesn't deserve to be playing AFL kick 10 goals on you. It's just like, oh my God, like how much more can we take? Yeah. So, sorry, man. I don't have much to put into this. So I'll make it short and sharp. And you know what, man? I'm pretty sure, I think it's St Kilda that we've got tickets to because I'm looking at my calendar and I've got a mate of mine that's come back from overseas for like a stint. And I remember saying to him, he's got a get together on Saturday. And I don't have any work on Saturday. So now I'm worried that I actually have a ticket to the game. And that's why I said I'd be late to his thing. Like, I'm legitimately disappointed that I may have bought a ticket in advance and not realised.
So why don't you just come to the game and see what happens?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. You know what, man? I was thinking about. I've never watched a game with you before, but it's not really like it's not about the fact of we need to watch a game together. It's more about I want to see you during a game, especially one where it like seesaws and it's full of shitty calls and like just a tug of war. Because I can't
you want to see me rocking back? I basically sit like this once it starts getting stressful.
Yeah, like I reckon you go through those 5 stages of grief. Like what is it? Denial, fear, anger, acceptance, and grief, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see you give start with what's it called? Like an impassioned fist pump or a shake, and then maybe a few mutterings under your breath, eventuating in like full blown tonsil projection of screaming and anger. But I don't know. I can't see it from you. You're very restrained, if in that sense. But then again, I've never been to the footy with you.
Yeah, when I'm when I'm working, I'm try and keep it, composed. I'm pretty
I know.
composed at the footy these days. But, you know, every now and again I get up and I say my bit, let people know what I think of them, especially. I love giving it to an umpire. I love it. It's just within me. It's so much fun.
You know what's funny is now I'm just realizing it's St Kilda. The games I hate going to are St Kilda games because for the longest time, I'd never been to a Carlton victory at a St Kilda game,
Yeah.
and they're the word supporters going back in the day as well. But
Yep.
one of my favourite memories was must have been over 10 years ago, like probably maybe even 15, I don't know. But it was like all my cousins, we all turned up to go to a game, and we'd never been to a game all together. It was St Kilda. We got tickets by the boundary, and all I remember was I lost my voice because I was screaming at one of the boundary umpires that was just running back and forth from like spot A to spot B, had zero impact in the game, didn't make a call, didn't do anything. And I was just blasting him like, "Oh, you earned your money today, mate!" Like just. That's
Well, you know
what I
what?
remember.
You know what? I think we might have just gotten you to the footy, just like that.
Yeah.
We started this conversation with you telling me how you haven't checked in, you haven't tuned in, and then all of a sudden you might actually be there on Saturday after all
I
that.
know, by accident. I'm serious. I've got to message my mate to ask her what ticket was it that I still have outstanding that I need to go to, because I actually cracked it. It's either Saints or Essendon or something. I can't remember who it was, but
Hey,
I legitimately got upset because I had one more game to go to.
Hey, come to the game. I do have a spare next to me if you would like to. This could be the perfect storm. This could be it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, come.
I
tried to get Jake to come today, but he was like, "Nah, I don't want to sit next to you. You know, like I'm just like whatever." He was giving me some rubbish. Like I was like, "Yeah, you know, come." So anyway, we can chat after the stream, but you're more than welcome to join.
Now you're actually tempting me just because I wouldn't mind actually just seeing you.
Yeah, that's it. Sucked you right in.
You're a prick. Like, you're actually a prick. Don't do this. No, sorry. I don't want to monopolize your time, man, because I don't have anything actually valuable to add.
All good, man. All good. No, thanks for calling in. I'll chat to you after. I'll text you after.
Done, man. Thanks a lot, dude.
All right. See you, bro. Amazing. I've got a couple of you in the waiting room, Aiden and David. Aiden, I'll get you in now, and then we'll do the teams. And then David, I'll get you in when the teams are announced. We'll just see how we go. So Jen, I had the Herald Sun called yesterday or the day before, and they were getting just people's fans' opinions on certain things of the club. So if you want to read it, that's the link there. Ended up being like a 2-page spread, which was bizarre. All right, Aiden, you are here. Hello, mate.
How are you, Terry?
You going for your nice? What are you doing? A nice walk, stroll? What's happening?
Yeah. I was on a walk till 5:30. Yeah, at 5:30, and then it was getting dark, so I just started walking back now. And there's not enough lights around where I am, so yeah. Luckily, there's like a tennis court near me, so that was a bit nice to go on for a little walk.
Mate, I love it. I mean, walking is one of the most underrated bits of medicine I think you can take.
Yeah, especially being a Carlton supporter.
Yeah, man.
But,
How are you going, mate? How's your mind this week?
It's all right. I mean, there's a fair bit of emotion coming into this game because we've got two of our former lads playing for St Kilda. Again, I mean, I'm not really going to give it to the Koning because, let's face it, everyone would have left for that money. Like, again, what was it, 1.7, 1.8 million over 8 years?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can't really blame him for leaving. And plus, he did, unlike the other two, Charlie and Jack, at least Tom still, played majority of every game last year besides from injury. So you can't really fault him at that, even though some of his performances were questionable. But I think the Silvani one, I mean, I'm not going to blame people for, giving it to him because the way that he conducted himself last year by having dates with Craig McRae, it wasn't meetings, it was dates. And apparently he was injured, but yet he still passed the medical. How does that work? Like, I don't know how that works.
Aiden, that is a great point.
So I don't want to say that, like, I don't want to accuse him of lying, but he probably did sort of lie about his little injury, but time will tell. So, yeah, I'll definitely be giving it to Jack. Hopefully he's close by. I mean, I don't think he wants to be close by me because I'll be saying everything under the sun to him. But, yeah, it should be a very interesting game, I think.
Yeah, I was I said I don't know if you were watching earlier, but I spoke to Jake today, did a preview with him at Marvel Stadium, and to be honest, like the passion for the game and like the emotion and the intensity for the game, I didn't really have it much of it until maybe later in the conversation. And then I watched Bucky's preview earlier just before the show, and like he's fired up. He's like, nah, fuck that. Like, you know, don't sell us this picture of it's, you know, you're either with us or you're not with us, and then be friendly with the boys on Saturday. I will say I thought the boys did a pretty good job in opening round, not to be over the top, you know, friendly with Kerno, and I kind of hope the same on Saturday. Like, you don't need to go out of your way to hug and kiss and dap up
Nah.
when the cameras are there. Just do it in real life. Do you feel, does that matter to you? Like, do you care if you see the boys like smiling and hugging after a game?
I mean, a little bit, especially how, I mean, it depends. With Tom, I wouldn't really get fussed over it, but with Jack, I mean, a little bit, considering how he left. But again, because like he got drafted with Wiedering and, you know, how he played with Cripps and Walsh and all that for years, it wouldn't surprise me. But again, like I personally, if I was playing, I personally wouldn't give him anything. I'd leave that for, you know, after the game, like the day after. But I mean, yeah, I wouldn't really give him too much, but I mean, they will. But again,
Well,
I think that's just how footy is.
I don't think Tom's really one to remonstrate too much. I mean, he's going to have his hands full. I think I'm guessing Pito's going to come in, right?
Yeah.
But Jack, just have, because Jack's got a bit of white line fever. Like, what if he was to put like a big hit on one of our players and it sort of sparked from there? That's when I think the emotion in the crowd might spill out, which I actually think would favor us. If the emotional hook of the fans in the stadium gets the Carlton fans united and on-sided and like up and about, I think that could work in our favor.
Yeah, but then again, I feel like I think this is a game that he's probably. I think this is a game that he wants to end very quickly. I think he wants this game to like end quickly because, you know, you factor in that he's essentially like me and you. Like, he grew up a Carlton supporter. He played for I mean, me and you never played for the club, but he had that opportunity, and the fact that he's playing against, you know, his former club. I feel like, you know, there will be times throughout the game where I think he will get into his own head about things at times, because he does get a little bit agitated as well, Sauce. So hopefully, you know, we can get into his head a little bit. But,
well, you know, the other thing about the whole Silvani thing is, I mean, people might not believe this. They all love Carlton, Steve included. They still do. There is still it's there. It's still there. It's definitely still there. Even from Steve, it rears its head in different ways. But I think Jack still deep down, he'll always love Carlton. It's just he made a business decision for his family.
Yeah. But I mean, do you reckon if, let's say hypothetically, if Voss left, do you think he'd still be here? Or do you reckon it was just, you know, like a financial decision? Because I mean, the offer between what we gave St Kilda and what the offer that we gave him compared to the Saints, it was what, $100,000 different.
No,
so I don't know.
No, I don't think that's true. I think they offered him a lot more than what we had initially. There were little murmurs of us lowballing him. And he wanted more. The club didn't want to offer more. They had a position. He had a position, and then the Saints had more to offer. And like, remember, they were going after Lee Kalir, and that sort of fell through late because they ended up getting Jack Silvani. So, I think he's earning a lot more than what we would have been paying him. Look, I think Carlton in one off season cleaned up its books and evened them out a lot. We're probably going to do it again end of this year. There aren't going to be many bad contracts on the books at the end of this year anymore.
Nah.
The McGovern one's already off. He's now on a 1-year deal already. Williams will end this year. See what happens there. So, yeah, it's just got to get through, mate.
Do you reckon? I mean, there's another. I mean, going into this game, I'm more worried about what the Zaya will do to us. I think that has to be that would have had to be a talking point throughout the week when it came to the coaches and the players as well. Because how do we nullify a player like that? Because we saw last week with Shai Bolton, Nick Dacos the week prior to that, and Cozzy Pickett, we can't nullify players like that. And even if we try to, we just can't sort of contain them because they only need like 4 or 5 minutes. And I think with Naz, I can see him playing, I think, 50, 60% in the midfield this week, solely because Ross Lyon probably knows that if you put a player like Naz in and around our midfield, he can easily burn it off pretty quickly and he can make a lot of impact. So hopefully the coaches have something up their sleeve, even though it probably won't work. But again, I don't know. I don't think we will tag him. I just don't think that we have someone that can contain him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, yeah, Jake mentioned this to me earlier today. I mean, they play him forward, they play him middle, and they play him behind the ball. And if someone tries to tag him, they just move him. I mean, very similar to Nick Dacos. He's a special player. I don't know if this is just me with Cope, but why don't we switch around Cooper Lord and Adam Chera and put Chera on a defensive mission and let Cooper Lord be a bit more expressive? Because I don't think we're getting much expression offensively from Chera. So we may as well give Cooper Lord that opportunity.
Are you saying like we just put Chera with Wanganeen Malira, like anywhere he goes on the ground, Chera just follows him and just sticks to him? Or is
Maybe
it just
not
mostly
anywhere.
around? Yeah.
Maybe not anywhere, but like, I mean in general. I think this week's a bit different because Wanganeen Miller can play anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas
But,
when it's just the mid.
Yeah, if it's around stoppages and all that, then sure. But if it's other than that, then we're pretty cooked, I think. But I mean, do you think they'll tag? I hope they don't tag. But they probably
Aiden,
will.
We've got some breaking news. We haven't got the full teams, but we do have a bit of news. So Mackay, Pitternet, Hollands, and Sard in. And out is Moya and Lewis Young, and then 2 others who are not mentioned. Wow.
Who are the other 2, I wonder?
Well, I think Reedy's going to play. I think Byrne might come out.
I was going to say Evans.
Maybe Cowan, because they're bringing in Sard.
So because Cowan, he's played that at that offensive role, I think, last week, did he not? Or was it more defensive?
I don't even know what he was doing, to be honest with you.
Yes, because if we're going to bring in Sard, then you'd hope that we play him in a more attacking position in and around halfback. I don't want to see him locking down Liam Ryan and Jack Higgins because we all know how that will end up. They'll probably end up kicking, 3 or 4? But again, it's very interesting that Sard's coming back in. Let's face it, he probably did warrant selection to a point because he did play well in the VFL last. I didn't watch it, but I saw somewhere that he was in and around the midfield from time to time in the VFL. So probably we could put him in the midfield a little bit, but I don't think we will. But again, VFL and AFL, it's completely different. Like our VFL team is apparently playing better than our seniors at the moment. But
they're just playing a lot more free, a lot more of a free style. Wow, I'm reading here, Damien, Lord and Byrne are the other 2 omissions.
Lord? What the fuck?
I haven't seen it officially on the Carlton website. It'll come up any second now because it is 6:20. If you want to stick with me.
Yeah, I'll give you my raw reaction.
This could be fun.
So what? So essentially, they've made 4 or 5 changes.
Yeah. Okay, here's the teams. Yeah, I'm just going to share my screen.
Well, there could be a meltdown.
4 inclusions. So we've got Hit a net, no worries. Complementing their aerial presence is the running power of the returning Ollie Hollands and Adam Sard. Okay, no worries. Coming out of the team, omitted Taylor Byrne, Cooper Lord, and Ashton Moyer.
Wow.
Doesn't say anything else about Cooper Lord. Francis Evans will
Wow.
play his 50th AFL game. Wow, like
Wow.
actually like omitted, dropped.
Wow. Wow. I genuinely like Cooper. I thought Cooper played well last week. Why is he getting dropped?
I don't know. They just there has to be more of a story, right? Like surely.
Like what the yeah, but again, like if I'm being honest with you, I would have dropped Chera before Lord. Like I don't get like why Voss keeps persisting with players like that. And again, I have a theory that Voss just doesn't like playing our youth to a point. And again, if you're dropping 3 of them, all right, Moya probably did deserve to get dropped, but Lord, really?
Byrne, I get it. Byrne,
Yeah,
I understand. That
Yeah.
one, he's had 5 weeks. I sort of understand that one. Lewis Young, I also understand because Reedy and Pitto are playing, so you don't need the backup ruck as much. Moya, it is a shame, but I also kind of get it because he was lucky to be here. I don't even know how he got the game last week in the first place. But I did think if you put him in, you keep him. Cooper Lord is the one that's like a real shock.
I mean, let's face it, Moya, he did kick 2 goals. So, I mean, would you have still kept him in because of those goals or like, because that's his job at the end of the day?
Well, if Sard is back, I think that might mean that Williams goes back to the forward line. And I did see Ben Ainsworth working with the mids this week at training.
Well, if that's the case, then I've been sort of crying out to see a little bit of Ben Ainsworth in the midfield for a little bit of bursts, for a little bit of speed. So hopefully we see that. But who have they got in? Who did they bring in?
I'll tell you right now.
It wouldn't be a hell of a lot, I don't think.
I'll tell you right now, they brought, so Liam Ryan and Hunter Clark are out injured. Liam Stocker and Liam Henry are in for St Kilda.
Do you think Stocker will take Cripps like he did a couple of years ago? Because someone's going to take.
Yeah, I asked Jake because usually Jack still has the matchup at stoppage. And he just said, I mean, I don't think they'll tag Cripps. Max Hall is like strong in there. I think Cripps will play well. You there, Aiden? Oh, you're there.
Yeah. I'm still yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think if there's a player that they're going to tag, it'll probably be Walsh, I reckon, because I did see a little bit of your video with Jake earlier today. But look, if Walsh gets tagged, then someone has to step up, and that probably has to be Chera, to be honest with you.
Just looking at their forward line, they don't really have at all, apart from when Rowan Marshall floats down there. That's probably why Lewis Young didn't get a game also, which is also fine. I mean, Reedy and Pitto were there. The Cooper Lord one to me is the only real shock.
Yeah, that's weird. Even Flynn Young, I don't know what more Flynn can do to play AFL. Like, what more does he need to do? Like, does he need?
Who would you play him instead of out of these forwards?
Evans. He hasn't been playing too great.
I disagree. I like Evans. I think he's clever. I think he's good. I think he's got good traits. I thought if Byrne came out, Flynn Young would come in.
Yeah, that's that.
I clearly just don't know. There's something missing. There's context missing. There has to be.
Unless Cooper got injured or something, I just don't understand. Or he probably, I don't know, either he's ill or either something's going on, but that is just weird. I thought he played very well last week. But
yeah.
Anyway,
mate, we'll see you on the VFL watch along, 12 o'clock midday on Saturday.
Hopefully. If not, you'll see me at the game.
Done. Take care, man.
See ya.
All right. Chat. Wow. Does anyone have any idea? I think I started putting the pieces together. Saad's going to play in the back line. Williams will play forward and rotate through the middle. This is the state of play. Bussy boy, no selection integrity. Wilson, Ison, and Flynn need to be in, but I'm lost for words. Dean, Wiedering, Saad, Florent, McGovern, Newman. McGovern's been named in the back line for a couple of weeks now, but tends to just play forward. Oliver Holland's back on the wing with Patrick Cripps and Matt Carroll. Zach Williams, Jagger Smith, Francis Evans in the forward line with Ainsworth, Kemp, and Mackay. Then you got Pitto with Chera and Walsh, and then Nick Haynes, Lockie Cowan, Cottrell, Hayward, and Reedy. I mean, on paper, it's not the worst team. Flynn Young, Cooper Lord, and Lewis Young are the emergencies. However, Saturday midday will be the VFL game. So we'll find out if any of these emergencies don't play in the VFL and if there's a late change. So is Ollie going to be on NAS? Yeah, potentially. Petra Khan. Flynn's problem is he can only play one position well forward of centre, and they aren't dropping Ainsworth, Hayward, and Evans links up well. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Could be a laid out. Lana, what a crock of shit. Dropping Lord and leaving Flynn out yet again is a disgrace. Yeah. Chris Gould, hello to you, mate. This is purely about structure, but if Chera has another bad week, he has to be gone. Yeah. I'd agree with that. All right, David, I'm going to bring you in, and then I'm going to do one last call for anybody who wants to win the ticket. So if you've just joined, welcome. Robbie Varley, one of the Blue Abroad members, he has 4 tickets, level 1, Bay 33 with the Carlton supporters, reserve seats. He has 4 tickets to give away because he can't get to the game. So if you're looking for tickets, is to definitely sit around Carlton supporters. All you got to do is fill out the form. I'm going to put it in the live chat right now. I'm going to speak to David, and then I'm going to spin the wheel. I'm going to call you. If you fill out the form, you've got to fill out your details, and then I'm going to gift. Well, sorry, Robbie's going to gift you 4 tickets. I'm just going to connect the dots. All right, we'll bring the teams back up shortly, but David on the line. David calling from Thailand.
Hi, Terry. Hello, everybody. I had just a couple of thoughts about our expectations as a fan base for the season. And, you know, sometimes I think if we have expectations that are up here and the reality is here, we get disappointed and frustrated. And, you know, I mean, I want to win. I want Carlton to win every game, you know, of course. But the season's not about, you know, making finals even, I don't think. You know, like that's probably long gone now. So what's it about? What, you know, the club's, I'm sure the club's got a strategy. And maybe the season's about seeing, you know, giving Voss a bit of freedom, seeing can he really coach in the direction the club wants to go, seeing, you know, testing out players. So maybe some of the weird selections might be like, okay, let's try some of these guys out and see what they've got. You know, like, does it matter if we beat, you know, I mean, I want to win every game, but like, it's more important to set ourselves up for the future, given that the season's a write-off. You know, like, let's not try and like pick just the, you know, the obvious players to try and win every single game, but let's pick the players that we want to try out and see, you know, can they fit with the game plan that we're trying to develop and, you know, go forward to in the future that's going to make us competitive in the future. So I think as a fan base, maybe we need to look at it differently and look at, like, you know, I think, you know, there's a process going on there, and I think the team is getting closer and closer to winning and playing successfully. I mean, you know, last week against the Dockers, they were a very good team. I mean, you know, the season's still got to play out, but, you know, people are talking about them possibly being, you know, right up there in the top 2 or 3 of, you know, could win the flag sort of thing, you know, and we didn't get destroyed against them, you know, like we were able to make them struggle at times. And, you know, so I think there's hope there, positivity there, if you like, that, you know, like, we didn't revert just to kind of going, oh, let's just try and grind it out and slow it down and kick it up the line. And, at times we did, under pressure, but, overall, I think we tried to move the ball in a more, modern way and things like that. So I think, that's part of what's going on, I think.
Yeah. Look, I still remember pretty clearly a lot of the sentiment in the preseason, a lot of people talking. I think a lot of people were of the school of thought that it would be one of these transition years, but until it really happens in front of your face, it's hard to actually accept. I find this really interesting loop happening, right, where people have kind of accepted, like, okay, yeah, we're not a contender, and so I'm kind of understanding that we're not going to be winning games, but then like we'll lose games and people might not be as angry, and then it'll be like, oh, but your standards are dropping. And then it's like, well, hang on a minute. Last year I was like a toxic positive person. Now I'm a realist. And now it's like standards are dropping. There's just a loop of irrationality going on. I think the ball movement has changed. I think the way we move the ball has clearly changed. I think this, I could be wrong. I think there's something there. It's just not there for long enough.
No, and maybe we don't have the players to really, do that style of game, but that's part of what the season's about.
Yeah.
Figuring out which guys can actually get to that, that level, which guys can't, and who do we need to actually maybe shift out of the club, and I have some other thoughts about the changes to the draft and how that's been handled. And, the AFL just runs around and sort of slaps bandages, sticking fingers in the dike. There's a leak here, shit, do something.
Oh, mate,
I think Bevo had some great points. And really, wouldn't it be great to set up an independent commission of guys that know what they're talking about, not just AFL guys, but maybe some guys from other sports, and revamp the whole draft system, send them away for 6 months to figure out how should the draft system work if it's going to equalise the competition, including all the clubs, and then present that report and get people to talk about it, and then say, let's start bringing it in, including how do we bring this in? Because the AFL bangs on about equalisation, but I did a rough count while I was waiting, and I counted so far this season, we've had 28 games where the margin's been 40 points or more.
This season?
Yeah, that's my rough count. So it might not be 100% accurate, but it's about that. And there were some games there with 30 points. 30, so to me, what makes an exciting competition and games I want to see are less of the games where the margin, the outcome's known before the teams have even got on the park. They're playing West Coast. West Coast are going to get destroyed, or Richmond. So the AFL keeps banging on about equalisation. The very thing they've done right now is brought these draft changes in, and it hurts two of the clubs, us and Port, that need help in the equalisation. So what's the point of that? Couldn't they? People, we're going to get Cody Walker. We've planned for it, great, but what could we have got if we didn't have to bid under the present system? Would we have had another bid in the top 10 or something like that? I
don't mean to cut you off, but you made a really good point that I want to expand on a little bit more. You touched on why can't the AFL get this independent sort of panel on board? One of the biggest issues with the AFL is that we live in this tiny little bubble. For us all here watching it, it's our life. We love it so much. You're tuning in from the other side of the world, you love it. So it's not everything in your life, but for a lot of us, it's a lot of our attention is here. But in reality, it is the most niche, little, tiny speck of a sport in the grand scheme of the world. And so naturally, anyone who's involved in the game from an administrative level, whether it's club land or AFL land, they're all connected. They've either gone to school in the same area, they know each other over the generation, so that it's almost impossible to have proper independent integrity because everyone's linked to someone somewhere along the food chain. And I think that happens at club land. I think that happens at AFL land. AFL land for sure it happens. Whether it's
the media,
how
many players,
100%.
Eddie McGuire, occasionally he says smart things, but he's such a Collingwood homer. Caroline Wilson, who even listens to her?
A lot of people do. A lot of people do, and a lot of people. She has a lot of relationships with the board level type people as well. But the thing is, she's used as a leak by some of their people in higher positions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if you talk about Carlton, I mean, one thing about Carlton this year, I don't know, I mean, I think this is a good thing. The level of leaking is nowhere near what it was in years gone by. Now, Jackson won't play for the club anymore, so Sam McClure doesn't get his stories anymore from Jackson. Like, there's that. That helps. But yeah, there is just this, little game within the game.
Yeah.
Management.
Yeah, so I mean, it's watch what they do, not what they say, because I don't think they're serious about equalisation. Despite talking about it, and I think you talked back at the beginning. You talked about the excitement of the game and the changes and Bevo's kind of comments and things like that. And for me, more goals doesn't necessarily make a better game. It's more competitive games. It's games where you go, more games where you go and thinking, gee, Brisbane, could lose here. Not you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, and the last thing I sort of wanted to say was, Ari, I think, said it, and Arden also said it. No one can blame TDK for taking so much money to go to St Kilda. Everyone would have done it. I wouldn't have. I think there's something to be said for, TDK was never going to be dirt poor playing for Carlton. Even if Carlton lowballed him on offer, and even if they did, they would look after him. If he played for Carlton for the rest of his career, there's more to life than money. And
Wiedering didn't take it.
Yeah,
Wiedering had the offer.
I think it's good that I'm nothing against him personally, but I think it shows a certain lack of commitment to the group and the team culture, and also have some self-respect. TDK, St Kilda, come on, no hatred against St Kilda, but like if Geelong offers you a big whack to go and play for them, okay, I'm going to somewhere that's really good, that's got a history and a culture, and they're always competitive. That means I must be a really good player. St Kilda are just like, oh shit, we've got all this money and we're hopeless. Let's play over the odds to try and get someone good that we think, let's just throw a whole lot of money at somebody to try and prize them out of a club, and that's where he's gone. Like honestly, I just think, it's. Yeah, so like Terry, if you said, right, I'm quitting YouTube to go and make TikToks about my hair, everyone would go like, but I'm going to get more money doing it, guys. So forgive me. Everyone would be like, come on, do something serious with your life. Like, okay, you've got great hair. You do good TikToks. You're personable, and you make more money. No one can begrudge you that.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
if I wanted to make more money, I would have just stayed in the legal profession.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not everything in life. It's important. But come on, what would he be earning a year at Carlton? 500,000 or 600,000 a year
as a player? Yeah, on average. Just over 500
grand for the next 8 years. Okay, for the next 8 years, and then or whatever it is, and then after that, like the club's going to look after him, aren't they? Right? He's got, if he's a smart boy and he's personable and things like that, he's going to be able to get jobs with some of the big wigs connected around the club and things like that. So he's never going to be like, scratching his bum in a car park thinking, how am I going to get the next couple of bucks to buy a tinny? Like he's not going to. So I don't know. I don't get it. Aaron says he grew up a Saints supporter. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Like maybe that's what he wanted to, but I just think, fair enough, he can go. So yeah, don't really care. And interesting, since he's got the big money, he's lost the motivation to play well. Maybe he'll play well against.
This is the other thing, right? Because what we've done in this De Koning situation, now I'm not saying in the long run that Pito will be better than De Koning over the next 10 years, but maybe like it's lit a fire under Pito that we've seen him play in a way that we've never seen him play before. I've always been a massive fan of Pito because he's a team first guy and he blocks for his mids, and people don't want to talk about it because he doesn't mark enough around the ground or get 20 possessions. But now he's actually getting 15 to 17 possessions a game and he's improving. And I think more importantly, he's showing an attitude, a competitive attitude. Like he wants to beat De Koning on Saturday and he's primed for it. And he'll take it right to him. And I think we need more of those types of, I think we need to try and cultivate more of those mental situations. Another one, for example, like Mitch McGovern, no future guaranteed. He was given a 5-year deal when he first got to the club, I think it was. Now he's playing for another contract. So you just see the way he's playing, like the mental edge that he has.
Zach Williams,
exactly right. So I think we need to try and balance that as well. I think we need to try and create more of these scenarios.
What about for the team this Saturday? People are talking about who's going to mark Nass or tag Nass or whatever. What about Cottrell? He can run all day.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe he's underdone. I don't know, but maybe, or you have a tag based on where he is on the field. Well, like if Williams plays up front, maybe William then maybe Sard tags him. Sorry, if Nasai plays up front, maybe Sard looks after him because he's got the agility and things. If he plays in the midfield, maybe Cottrell's on him. If he plays,
so that will need good communication, which
you yelled at them last week, so they've got it now.
Yeah,
they know it now. They're like, "Oh man, we never thought about that before." Hey Terry, thanks, mate. Yeah. Hey, yeah. I'm competitive. I want to win every game, but the reality is this team's not going to win a flag as it's currently constructed and as it's currently playing. And we weren't going to do it last year. When we got into the final, we had a chance then, and we didn't quite get through. And I think the Brisbane final and after that, I think that kind of mentally broke some of the guys, and maybe they sort of thought, they allowed, we got beat badly, and I think they kind of like maybe lost confidence in what we were doing as well. And thought, oh man, if we can't do it this way. And I'm not saying they were wrong, but I think that's been a big issue. And so now it's also about building a system in the team, getting confidence in that system and belief in that system. And maybe part of it too is bosses on, sort of dead man walking. Everyone's talking about, he's going to be gone next year. Maybe he won't be. But it's hard for him to coach and build confidence in the team and say, hey guys, this is where we're going, we're doing this and this is going to succeed for us. We're going to win a flag like this, when people are thinking, well, you won't even be here next year. So I don't know, I applaud the club for not sacking him out of hand. I think that would have been a mistake. But, I'm sure they're thinking and looking hard at him and the other coaches and thinking, can he do it? We don't have the players right now, so I think it's too early to make that call. But they'll be looking behind the scenes at what he's doing and how he's coaching and that kind of stuff, Yep.
Well, I think what we'll find, Adam Sard, for example, I know people were talking about Billy Wilson coming in last week after last week's performance. Like that's fine. Sard also had a pretty good game. Sard is the other one who's out. There's no guarantee for the future. So we're going to find out exactly what his motivation levels are like and how he'll play. His body language and the way he plays for however long he stays in his team will be a pretty big message.
Did he get dropped to the VFL or was he injured?
He got injured. Did his hamstring, and then came in through the VFL, which is kind of rare for a guy like Sard usually with us.
Yeah, so maybe that's a motivating thing for him too. It's like you're saying, it's like, maybe he might thinking, I'm not guaranteed a start in this team anymore. It's not just like, as long as I'm fit, I'm in. It's like, I've actually got to, because I didn't play him just 1 week in the VFL. He played a couple, 2 or 3, didn't he?
Yep.
So maybe, maybe that's part of what, what they're doing. And it's like, okay, because I'd like to see him get back to something his best, Yeah. And the other thing about Nass and all that is if we have a good game plan and we use the ball well, he won't get many opportunities to get the ball. So,
well, how about we put scoreboard pressure on and force the St Kilda to make adjustments to what we're doing instead of
exactly.
How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cripps and other guys win the ball. We get the clearances. Last week I think we won a lot of clearances that just didn't quite get outside. Like went to somebody else. Cripps handballed and there was a opposition player in the way and got the ball. And so bit of luck. Injury-free run without getting Harry or, one of the big 3 or 4 guys in our spine getting injured. Wiedering, Harry got knocked out, Wiedering, Pitnet did his hand, those guys are really crucial to our game. I think if we can, keep all them on the field, that's going to help. So I'm looking forward to us making the St Kilda boys cry.
I hope so.
Yeah, wipe your tears with that money, TDK. You're not the best ruck in the comp, and you're a long way off it.
Yeah.
All right, go
David,
Blues.
You're a star. See you soon, mate.
Okay. Cheers. Thanks, Terry.
See ya. All right, we've got 2. Andy, I'm going to finish on you. We'll leave you. We'll finish on you. We'll bring in Dionysios.
Oh, fuck. That was quick.
Yasu.
Yasu, how are you?
Sichameni, mate.
Sikameni. Oh, I know. Well, we didn't play bad last week, and I don't think we're going to play bad this week.
Yeah.
I think I think what we have to do is we have to manage, and I don't want to sound like Vossi, we have to manage that 5 or 10 minutes where we just lose our minds. And I think last week, you know, when Mason Cox kicked that goal and he started like, you know, and we had that bit of a back and forth with the other players.
Yeah.
And then straight out, and that next bounce, right? We got the next like 2 goals. So that's the sort of response we need from them, because I think there's going to be a bit of biffo, especially between TDK. I think TDK is going to get like hopefully a little bit of attention, not badly, but you know, just to get under his skin.
Pito's going to go at TDK and make his life hell, and I just get. I could be wrong, but reading between the lines of everything that I know, and you know what, if we're going to get our tinfoil hats on, this is the time to do it. But
this is the time to do it.
This is the time to do it. So if Silvani was one of the people who was bringing like a bad negative attitude to whatever was going on last year, and if the boys who are still at the club now really give a shit about, you know, you're either with us or against us, then I would like to see a little bit of edge to Silvani.
Yeah. I'm a bit concerned about Weeders because he's out of. I feel he's out of form, and I don't know whether that's. I don't think it's a fitness thing. I think it's just a lethargy of like, you know, this again. You know what I mean?
I'm going to push back on that a little bit, and I'll tell you why.
Yep. Okay.
So there's a few. Everything is perception, right?
Yep.
So reality is this: he got like a really bad knee to the back of the head, which was only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Combined with whatever else, combined with being elite, like for sure. I was talking about his reaction time when I saw it, when I was sitting behind the goals thing. I've seen a little bit around, has he checked out? Is he disinterested? Everyone sees it how they see it. And so like entitled to your opinions. But the reality is there's very few are saying the guy literally copped a knee to the back of the head, like back of the skull, blood pouring out on top of whatever else, all the collisions, he's like pretty serious collisions this year. So I just think he hasn't had a clean run at it. And he's a guy I'd be willing to give the benefit of the doubt to because he's been so good for so long. Like he didn't have his best game, but he also found a way to like didn't have his worst game either. So I don't know. You're not saying he's checked out, but I've seen a little bit about that out there.
I just think maybe, you know what, with you now reminding me of it's probably like half the problem, like, you know. But I just want him to like have that extra step forward, especially with like, you know, if he's going to line up against Suwani, if he's going to line up, you know, if he's supposed to be put out on the field, right, then we would expect him to be like 100%, right?
Totally.
Right. So okay. Well, let's just see how he goes. I hope he does well. He is our bedrock back as far as our defense is concerned. So he's going to play an important part, like, you know, in like whatever score. You know, the other thing is I would really love for us. The other thing I saw last week is that we're missing a lot of goals that should have, like, you know, gone through now. And I'm not talking about the one against Collingwood because young player, 80,000 people. You know what? I think that miss right on the siren was probably going to, as much as it hurts him, I think we'll probably hold him in better stead next time. So I'm not worried about that. But there were other opportunities, like say with Fremantle that we could have, like, you know, that we could have capitalised on, and you know, I'm hoping that our efficiency needs to, like, you know, our kicking efficiency needs to increase. So I'm hoping that there's some sort of drill that they've been doing for like 5 days now, you know, like kick straight, you know. I don't know what, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't know what else to say, but yeah. And the other thing is, yep.
Do you think we'll win?
I do. I do. I'm a bit weird, dude. I'll be honest with you. I'm a bit weird because I sit. No. It's all right. I know I'm weird. It's all right.
I'm weird too. We're all weird. Everyone's
because I sit with the ladder predictor, right? I don't make predictions until the day. So when tomorrow I'll start making predictions for the week, right? And then I'll sit in front of the TV, right? And I'll track our scores. And unfortunately, with the ladder predictor, you can only go up 10 points or down 10 points, right? So, you know, but when we're ahead, like say 20 points, like I slide my slider up 20 points, and I'll see what that affects as far as like my predictions with the ladder. And we, as late as we are in the season, I think this is round 8, I think, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There is still hope. Like there is still hope. Now, admittedly, it might a few games we need to kick higher than like say 40 points to get our percentages up. But I think we'll win. Because I'll sit there and I'll just like slide on up. Oh, what if we won by 100 points? Oh, yeah, that'll get us here. Wow, what if we lose, you know? That's what I do. Welcome to my Fridays. So, hey?
I said I rate it.
But I think it'll be Carlton by 15 to 18. My biggest fear is that 10-minute gap, and when it occurs, I think the earlier it occurs, it gives us more chance to recover from. But you know, if it happens in something like the third or fourth quarter, then we're sort of like we're pushing shit uphill again. So I just want us to like. I don't know how to. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're far off a win. I think we're further off, say, maybe consecutively winning.
Yeah.
I think we're sort of like at a point where we might win one, we'll probably lose one or two, then maybe win a third, like a bit down. But I'd love for them to prove me wrong. I really would love for them to prove me wrong and start that whole 2023 fucking run right to the end. How good would that be?
Then we'll have a real headache on our hands because we'd have to maybe trade a player to get another first round pick in.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it. But you're probably a little bit more tuned in to like the VFL, right? I don't see a lot of it here, but we've got more players, right? Like, why don't we blood someone like say Jack Ison? Is he too?
I don't think we're in a rush for Ison. The Ison one I understand. He had a really strong third quarter last week. I didn't watch the game live, but he had a patch and it was the third quarter, kicked a couple in a row. I just think he's developing nicely. I like that we're not rushing him, but he'll get his chance. Flynn Young is the one that's on everyone's mind at this point. But when you actually break it down, I mean, some people think he should play instead of Francis Evans. Some people agree with that. Some people disagree with that. He's not playing ahead of Ben Ainsworth. He's not playing ahead of Will Hayward. And yeah, so it's either, you know, maybe it's Evans or Young at this point. And yeah, Billy Wilson is a popular name this week, but you know, that changes from week to week.
Well, my last comment before I let you go is I really want more out of like, say, Ainsworth and Hayworth. You know what I mean? I think I get them confused because I'm not used to their fucking like faces yet, but who's the one that got like fucking
suspended?
What was that?
Who's the one that got suspended?
Yeah.
That's Hayward.
Hayward? Sorry. Hayward. Right. I want to see him more like that. be, maybe not get suspended, but just have that same sort of intensity. I think that's what we need. We need that sort of edge. And I just want them to show, more of what made them attractive to Carlton, So I don't know. Well, what do you think about playing? Sorry, I got one more. What about playing Cripps up forward?
In general, I don't mind the idea, but this week it'll be tough. Harry's already in there. Kemp's already in there. One of the rucks might rest there. McGovern might play there. I think it just,
If, let's say, for example, if Hewitt was in, I don't know if Hewitt was in, right? Do you think Hewitt could have done his job in the centre and had Cripps rest up forward a bit more?
Maybe. I just think Cripps is playing really well since Hewitt came out of the team.
So they're my thoughts.
We'll see, my friend. Thanks for calling in.
See you later, everyone.
There you are. All right. Lucky last is Andy from Adelaide.
G'day, Tez. Hey, mate.
You're a bit upset about the changes, aren't you?
I just don't get it. I don't get when I think players perform a really solid role and then they get dropped. So Cooper Lord last week kept Sarong silent. Got his own ball, gets the ball moving. He's actually not a bad ball user. He starts chains, he's hard, he tackles, and they've dropped him. And I'm just like, why? And then you've got Chera, Mr. 22 disposals, 3 tackles, and he just gets saved unless he gets injured. And I'll say it every week. Selection integrity under Michael Voss has been horrible. And he's asked to play a role. He does that role and he gets dropped. So I would love to be in the locker room or in the meeting room when Voss said, "Oh, you're not going to play this week, Cooper." I would love to see why, how. I just don't think Chera is doing much for us. But if you're going to play him and drop Lord, you'd want a pretty freaking good excuse. So that's my number.
They obviously rate something in the role that Chera's doing for them to keep him in. And that's something that we don't have. We're just not in those conversations. Lord is another one. There's obviously something we're missing. I mean, if I just get the team up now, right? The profile of the team, if you want to call it.
I'm gonna get this myself.
Yeah. Cripps, clear ball winner. We saw were you here earlier when I showed the center ball up attendances?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was last week. So Lord had 20. So now let's just use the number 20 as an example. Maybe, Young had 5. He was the backup ruck. So there's 25 there. Maybe this is the week we see a little bit more of Jagger. Maybe this is the week we see more of Ainsworth. I
look at how close we were in that game, and you can argue we were never in the game, right? But ultimately, we didn't get blown out by a top 4 side. Lords had 20 CBAs, and I can argue until I'm blue in the face, right? So that was one move that I didn't rate. Then you've got people like your Taylor Burns and your Francis Evans haven't really given us a whole lot. Now they've dropped Burn. Francis Evans has been given a run, and Flynn Young continuously performs. They didn't play him last week. He's an emergency. And again, they're not going to play him this week. So again, the big thing for me is with the team selections, and they're actually, how they're filming the selections now. They'll talk to one of the coaches and talk about it. Notice how they're not addressing Flynn Young. They're not addressing it. They're not they just go, here's who we're playing. That's that.
The other thing that's interesting you say that, because a few weeks ago, there's always a little comment at the end of the blurb, and it says, so-and-so is pushing for AFL selection.
That's from the VFL coach, but not the AFL. That's the VFL coach that makes his report card. But they're filming like people like Ash Hansen and who's the other guy from Collingwood that we've got now? What's his name?
Josh Fraser.
Yeah. So last week he goes, "Here's who we're playing." So
no, but the point is, in those VFL reports, even when Flynn Young played a few weeks ago, he didn't have that line at the end which said pushing for AFL selection.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the accuracy in front of goal. He's 7 goals 3, so better than 50%. His link up, his entries inside forward 50, which we always struggle with, are really, really good. Yeah, it's in the VFL, but if he's not given a game to prove himself at AFL level, then what else can he do? So, again, there's probably stuff that we don't know. Well, they're guaranteed that there is things that we don't know that the players know and the coaches know. They go, hey, you need to work on this. But when we keep losing, there's so many players in every game that perform poorly, and they don't perform poorly for one game. They perform poorly for a sequence of games. They make changes, and then they go, oh, let's bring in Adam Sard. Let's bring in, another player that technically shouldn't be playing. So I agree with Pitto and Harry Mackay. We needed them last week. They weren't available. But bringing in Adam Sard, I found that just shit house.
Well, he played well last week.
Yeah, he did. But
his highlights here. He's been playing well for the last 2 weeks as well. The thing is, he's playing the game that we want to see him play in the AFL with this run and carry and dash. But
the way I look at it, Terry, we're 1-6 though. This season is essentially done. So do you play youth or do you play a guy that's out of contract and we're probably not going to give another contract to? So Billy Wilson, best game. He's been building. He looked awesome. He gave more run and carry out the centre. And I watched this game. He was amazing in the game. Sard generally does the safety kick, whereas Billy Wilson will take the dangerous kick. If we're going to lose, let's lose trying to win rather than trying not to lose. So that's my biggest criticism. You can see him here. He's always every clip that you've played, he's generally on the wings. Billy Wilson will go down the guts. He'll ask for the hand pass in the back line. We can complain about players all we want. I'm just venting here, Terry. I thought
I reckon you're a bit harsh on Sardi in these clips here.
Yeah,
he's running through the middle here.
I thought we could have done better with our selections this week. That's my take on it, mate. There's going to be a lot of people that.
Bottom line, do you think the team that you selected can win the game on Saturday? That's what's most important.
Not now.
Okay.
I think there's too many players that get into bad habits that have proven that over their tenure with our team. Even Ollie Hollands, wasn't in the greatest form. I think we looked better without him last week. I know I'll be criticised in saying that. I thought having the different players, your Cottrells and your Carrolls, playing more of that wing role without him there, I thought was better for our team. I love Lord in the middle. I love Lord in the CBAs. And now we don't have him, we talk about if people get off the chain, who do we send to them? Because Chera's slow. Cooper Lord is faster than Chera. He's a better run with player, proved it last year. So yeah, I was actually quietly put it in the chat. I was quietly confident. I thought, you know what, we can take it to him this week. And now I'm just, and I'm just looking at the team. We've kept Liam Reedy in the side, yeah.
Well, we have to play the two, I reckon, because they've got Marshall and DeConey.
So
I don't know.
So
you're probably not playing Lewis Young as the second ruck with Marshall.
Yep. What do you think of Reedy's game last week?
I thought he was thrown to the wall, but we had no choice. I thought he competed and did all those things, but the thing with Reedy that's really hard is you need to. It takes time to build chemistry with mids, with the way that it comes off the ball hits your hands and the way that they tap it, and you can practice it at training all you like, but in the thick of the battle, he just hasn't got any chemistry with the mids at the moment. I thought he battled,
kept
but I mean, Jack.
he kept tapping
Yeah,
it behind himself, and the mids weren't reading that. So he got the tap, the advantage, and then our mids didn't read it. So then it went straight to the opposition. So like you said, the familiarity with our mids to ruck and the taps and all those sequences just wasn't there. I thought Lewis Young, I think Lewis Young, when he goes in, isn't as bad as, what I've seen in the past with a backup ruckman with our team. Not that I'm fighting for Lewis Young to stay on the side, but I don't know. The selections this week have killed me. I want more of an explanation with the coaches if they're going to, drop certain players and not select other players that have been in. Here you go. Let's hear it. Let's hear what he says.
Saints at Marvel Stadium on Saturday night. You must be pretty pleased as midfield coach to welcome back Pito.
Yeah, it's nice to have him back. He's been in really good form. So, we'll go in with a two-ruck strategy this week and see if we can get on top. Well, clearly, they've got two really good ruckmans. Obviously, TDK, which everyone would know, and then Rowan Marshall as well. So we feel like we need to compete through that stoppage game really well. And, Reedy was really good on the weekend, so he deserves to stay in as well.
We saw, more dynamic forward line last week, and with Harry Mackay coming back in, there's a few at his feet that kind of get to work. How do you see that forward line shaping up on Saturday night?
Yeah, obviously Big H will come back in, and it'll be obviously huge for us. He's been really good for us this year, and unfortunately that'll make way for a couple of the young boys that'll probably go out. So Ashton and Taylor Byrne will both miss out this week, and we'll get a little bit of extra height with H in there, but still have that dynamic with Kempy and McGovern, and then obviously Haywood, Ainsworth, those types at their feet. So it still should be a really dynamic forward line.
It's the first time that we've seen Matt Carroll, Matt Cutchell, and Ollie Hollands all in the same team from a transitions perspective. That must really excite you as a coach. Yeah, it was obviously really good to get Cots back in for his first game last week and found his feet quite well. So we'll have some guys that can get up and down the ground through those perimeter positions, which hopefully will allow us to transition the ball from our D50 to inside 50 really well. Sadi rounds out the inclusions. What was the thinking behind welcoming him back for the first time since opening round? Yeah, he's been balancing up other selection decisions. Yeah, sorry, mate. He's been in really good form. He's been showing a lot of bounce off half-back when we know Sadi's up and about. He's really hard to catch and moves the ball really well for us. But the other one for that is that they've got some really good small forwards, Higgins, Liam Ryan, those types that we feel like he can match up quite well on. So he's got that dual responsibility of being able to lock away some of their good small forwards, but also give us some real bounce out of that back half. Okay. I think that might answer your question there. Billy Wilson's not really a great defender. And reality is, if he's playing on Saturday, he has to take one of those smalls.
Well, Jack Higgins is in amazing form. They've bought Liam Henry, who has had a lot of time out of the game, but, it can be quite dynamic and exciting on his day. So our backline to me looks a little bit too tall, but
tall.
Yeah, you got Wiedering, Gov. Who else will play in there? Haynes. I'm just thinking who's going to come in and take the smalls. Probably Newman on Higgins. Who'll play on Higgins, do you reckon?
Well, Newman, Cowan, Sard, I think can take a small each, or Sharman. I'll show you St Kilda. This is their forward line, right? So Marshall will rest, or DeConing will rest, depending on who's not in the ruck. They've got a pretty small to medium size forward line. They've got Butler, Higgins as their smalls there. Liam Henry, I don't know if he's a small forward. I think he's more of a wing.
Nah, you'd class him as a small forward, Liam Henry. You reckon they'll play him winger?
I think he's always been a winger for him.
Has he? Okay. They say it in footy all the time: is don't get hurt by what you know, or don't lose by what you know. The person to me that's going to break this game open is going to be Higgins. So do you hard tag Higgins? Do you just follow him around like a bad smell? Just keep someone on him at all times. He just seems to always find.
Yeah, that's what Sard or Cowan or Newman is for, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Newman, you want using the ball. I doubt that he'll just stay on him. He always finds himself in open space, Higgins. I've been watching him this year. He just gets forward. No one anywhere near him. He's pretty crafty. He's learned a fair few tricks over his years. So I'd love for someone just to glove him, just to absolutely glove him this week. You keep him to 1 goal, who's going to kick their goals?
Yeah. Bloody Cooper Sharman, that's who.
Yeah, well, you know.
They're a much better team. They're a much better, much well-rounded team, the Saints. Like, this is not going to be an easy game.
Are they much better, Terry? Are they?
Yeah, for sure they are. For sure. They're a better team than the version of them that we've played over the last few years. Yeah, I think so.
I've got just a comment on our boy, Mr. Jacob.
Yep.
So you think he's sort of a little bit discouraged due to the heavy hit? That's what you're...
I don't think it's fair to say he's checked out.
Do you think...
Or to even insinuate that he's checked out.
I don't know if checked out's the right word, but would you agree that he is showing, I guess, body language similar to Charlie Curnow last year?
No way. Curnow was giving up on contests.
There's things that I've seen in his game this year that I haven't seen throughout his career, and that's I mean, losing every game isn't ever fun, and obviously with all the change in the team, but yeah, there's, I don't know. I'm keeping a watch on him. Definitely keeping a watch on him.
Fair.
I won't go heavy on what I was thinking, but.
No, if you have a view on it, I don't know. I disagree he's checked out, but I disagreed last year that Charlie Curnow had checked out. I was talking about his interrupted preseason and his ankle issue, and I was proven wrong that no, he actually did check out. Wiedering, I just don't think he's checking out of the club. I think he's frustrated, and I think he's also copped some really brutal knocks to that. Well, one to the head, which was only 2 weeks ago.
I don't want to say that he's checked out, right? What I want to say is, as a leader and as a, he is a leader. He's in the leadership group, and he's obviously one of our more senior, decorated defenders and players in our team. I think there's just an element more that I think people are expecting of him, and if it's anything that I want to see, it's just I don't see much fire in him. I've seen him spray Dean last week and things like that, but I want to see him, fire up and that.
So that part I would entertain. I can agree on that. I was sitting behind the goals last week in Perth, and the one thing I noticed was he sort of gets frustrated to himself. He doesn't
very subdued.
As in, he doesn't want to outburst at his teammate, maybe because of the way it looks, whatever. He sort of, and this is just my read. I'm guessing. I don't know anything. I'm just guessing. I don't see a guy that's checked out. I see a guy that's frustrated, and I see a guy that doesn't have trust and connection with some of the backmen there. I mean, he and Lewis Young, they just don't work well off each other. It is what it is. It's just you can talk about why it is and what happened in the circumstances. They just haven't got something. Maybe they just need to sit in a room and get vulnerable with each other and connect properly. And maybe that's what's missing. And maybe there's something there. We'll see what happens this week. I think he's got players around him in that back line who he trusts a lot more. And you look, he's at the face of it. Yeah, if he was sitting here with us right now on this stream having a conversation, I'm sure he'd be hard on himself as well, saying, "Yeah, I'm not playing well enough. I want to play better."
I haven't heard him with Jared Waitley for a fair while. He used to do a monthly catch up with him, and unless I've just missed it, but yeah, they usually post that on the website. But yeah, he sort of hasn't had a chat with him for a while. But yeah, I'd love to know behind closed doors what he's thinking, what he's up to. I don't know. I just want to see him barking orders, demanding more from the team, because how else are you going to get better? And people like Harry Dean, some of the new guys that are coming in, your Matt Carrolls, like they need direction and they need to know what's the standard and what isn't. And if you just don't govern them and don't do anything, well, then what are they learning? So, look, I had a slight suspicion that we were going to pull off a win this week. I thought, we've built, like you said, we're building, we're getting a little bit better each week, but yeah, when I saw the ins and outs, I was just a little bit deflated. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we do something. Hopefully Pitto puts his knee through 2 or 3 players' heads and kicks a couple of goals and gets the team up and about. I'd love to see that. And
if I just break this down, apart from Cooper Lord, every other player that came in is better than the players that went out.
Lucian,
By a long way. By like a very, 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 very long way.
Yeah, I mean, look, we I think we suffered last week with Pitto and Harry. Like I said, I would have kept Lord in, and I would have played Young. So that would have made way for Sard and Hollands. That's
or
just
Cottrell.
Yeah. Again, I think Cottrell, if he's fit, why aren't we playing him? Run, dash, can use the ball well. Again, I was happy with how the dynamics worked last week with the team that we had on. The only one being Liam Reedy and no Harry Mackay in the forward line. Brody Kemp subsequently has his best game for the year without him there. So look, again, we can go around in circles.
We're going in a circle.
Yeah.
I love you, but we're going in a circle.
For sure. All right. You'll be at the game, Tez?
I'll be at the game. I'll also be live here on Saturday for the VFL if you're around for the watch along. So we can watch all those boys dominate the VFL together.
Done. All right.
Yep.
Well, good luck, mate.
All right, mate.
Go well.
Go well.
Up the baggers.
Go Blues. All right. Let's wrap it up and give away some tickets. Firstly, thank you very much to Robbie Varley for donating his tickets to a lucky winner this evening. How many of you? Oh, one of you will win. There's 18 of you. All right. I'm about to spin the wheel. I'll call you. Please make sure you didn't fill out the form if you couldn't go. But we'll see. Anything's possible. All right. It's time to spin the wheel.
That hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
Good luck, everyone. Who is it going to be? Stephen Whitelaw. Congratulations, mate. Stephen, are you in the chat? Are you in the chat? Let yourself be known. Stephen, where are you? Are you here?
Hi, the person you have called is not available. Please leave a short 10.
There's no way.
Hi, the person you have called is not available.
Is it a redraw? I'll go one more time. I mean, you've got to be able to pick up the tickets, surely.
Hi, the person you...
Can't get onto him. I might give it a minute. See if he calls back. You know what? I'm going to text him. Yeah, that's the thing. If we spin again and then he calls back, that's the disaster. For the tickets, please let me know ASAP. Otherwise, I'll need to redraw. No answer in 5 minutes. It's a redraw. Yeah, that's fair. 5 minutes. It was 7:21 when I spanned the wheel. It's got till 7:27. All right. So there's that. See you, Jen. Go well. Have a good evening. So just looking at this team again, is the team getting worse the more you look at it? Sorry, are our chances of winning getting worse the more you look at it? Because the more I look at this team, the more I see plenty of experience in this team. Yeah, Sam, you're not wrong. You do kind of have to pick up the phone to get your prize, especially when it comes to tickets like that. Dionysios, good night, mate. See you on the fan cams for sure. Rocco. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, he's thinking on the other end, who's that number? If it's important, he'll leave a message. I've texted. He hasn't replied. He's got 2 minutes. He's got 2 minutes, and then I'm calling someone else. Kerry, Saints don't have the spirit to win this. They're downhill skiers. All right. Row War, we are doing to Hewitt what we did to Kennedy. Yeah, I mean, you just can't win in these situations because we were too slow with Hewitt in there. And now Hewitt's out of there. The midfield is starting to get a little bit more different in there. I think the spread is better. We're scoring off turnover a lot more. We've actually more than doubled our scores off turnover in the last 3 weeks compared to the first 4 rounds. And that's including a game against Adelaide in the pissing rain. Sol, it kind of feels like we're tanking on purpose. Well, you're almost now with these new rules asked to tank. It's incentivizing tanking to make sure that you get the discount for the bid. I'd hate to be tanking. No, that'd just, I think that'd take us back even more than what we already are. All right. I'm spinning the wheel again. Stephen, you were there. We gave you the opportunity. You just needed to pick up the phone. Let's go. Good luck. Daniel Leahy. Daniel, are you here? Will you pick up the phone? That's the question. On the other end of this phone call are 4 tickets to the game. Or Stephen?
G'day, mate.
Oh, you have called at the most unbelievable time.
Why is that?
Because I actually did. I spanned the wheel for the next person, but you're here, so you're all good. How are you?
Yeah, look, I was watching you in the kitchen and my phone's in my room. And then I went, oh, when I went to get my phone and you already called. So I'm sorry about that.
No worries, mate. Can you take the tickets? Can I give them to you?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Mate, you were literally, I was about to start calling the next guy and giving him the tickets.
Well, I appreciate that. And take the family along to the footy. It'd be great.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. What do you think will happen? How do you think it'll play out?
I'm confident. I'm confident they're yeah, I think the side this week should be able to do the job. Really.
Yeah.
Every week there's been an improvement. Really can't complain. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Look, I'm 65 years old. I was at the 68 grand final. I've had such a great run with the club.
Yeah.
So I'll back them all the way.
I love it. I love your optimism, mate. Well, congratulations. I will organise the tickets for you as soon as I finish this show. And yeah, you and the family can enjoy the game together.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Keith. Really appreciate it.
No.
And I love the show. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Everything you put out.
Love it. Good to see. Well, you have a good night.
Thank you. You too, man. Thank you.
See ya. DL, Daniel, he called back. He called back. If I was about to enter the 04 into my phone, but he called back. Unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes. Sorry about that. But thanks for entering, and thanks to Robbie for sending those tickets. That was very, very kind of you to make sure that some other Carlton supporters can get there, and that's what it's all about. All right, let's go, guys. Got a game Saturday night. If you want to tune in on Saturday afternoon to the watch along, I'll be here on the channel watching the VFL, so you can watch the VFL and chill here in the live chat. And we can talk our way through it. What we'll do is whenever we do the reserves watch alongs, we at the end of each quarter we'll take notes, 2 or 3 notes at the end of each quarter, and then we'll use that for the VFL report at the end of the game and end of the week. So I will see you there. If I don't, I'll see you on the fan cams. Take care. Go Blues.